What is going on, guys? My name is Ben. How are you guys doing today? What I have for you today in this video is actually my thoughts about an article that I recently read from Techno Buffalo, so link will be in the description below, where former executive of Microsoft, Peter Moore, actually discussed with IGN about the Xbox 360's red ring of death illness, I would call it, for the Xbox 360. Now, for those of you guys that aren't really into gaming and don't really know much about gaming consoles, what happened with the Xbox 360 was when those things were released back in 2005, they started having problems where you had 3 red lights flashing at you, making it unable for people to play their games. It wouldn't do anything, therefore customers had to send it back to Microsoft, and normally it would take them about 3 weeks, but if you have sent it before the holidays, it's going to be a lot longer because they don't work during the holidays, so therefore your product won't be shipped until after the holiday break is over for them. But normally, if you send it into Microsoft, it'll normally take them 3 weeks from what I've experienced before, and basically if they can't fix it, then they just send you a new one with a new serial number and all that. And it doesn't matter which model you can get. Like, for example, some people complain about in the past where they sent their 360, the broken one, and then they got a new one, and they were responded or told by Microsoft that they would receive a brand new one, and people are, when they get them, some of them are like, this isn't brand new because this doesn't have an HDMI port. So Microsoft lied again. Well, when they say brand new, they're talking about a product that has never been used by a user before or by a customer. That doesn't necessarily mean that you don't get the newest one. You basically just get a new Xbox 360 that has never been touched by a customer before, never been sold to a customer before, and it won't matter if you get that extra port or not, because that's not what they declare as brand new. So just wanted to point that out for those of you guys that might be wondering. For me personally, I'm not too concerned about it. I mean, I'm fine with the component cables for this TV right here, although HDMI would be nice, so that way I could just have one connection into one cable that operates everything, sound, picture quality, all of that, instead of having to plug in all those individual holes. But you know, that's just to keep it a little bit cleaner. And Peter Moore was discussing with IGN about, you know, what they were doing, you know, what he was telling people at Microsoft about this issue, and declared or predict that this would turn out to be $1 billion issue or investment. And it is a little bit true with $1.16 billion. So yeah, that's a whopping load of money due to some hardware issues, and the red ring of death is caused by overheating issues, bad wiring. The first 360 I had, let me think now. Got it in 2006, sent it in 2008 towards Christmas, and so it was almost 3 years. But normally the 360s would last for 3 years if you played it countless times and you just played it continually. Leave it on all night while you're sleeping. If you're trying to download something from the Xbox Live Store, you know, if you're trying to keep that thing on for a while, you're shortening the life a lot faster. And apparently, you know, that doesn't appeal to a lot of people, but you know, these things happens to products, and I feel like the 360 was rushed out to the market, and hopefully Microsoft has taken their time with the Xbox One. I don't have an Xbox One that I've owned myself, so I can't tell you if I'm going to have an issue like this again in the future with the newer products. But for those of you guys that do and that own it for a long period of time, any problems that you've noticed before that is similar to the red ring of death from the 360, I don't know, leave your comment down below. I'm curious to see how that is. So a big load of cash being put out just for this issue that Microsoft was trying to fix, and surprisingly they can't figure it out, because there's no perfect solution where it'll stop this completely. So I don't know what to tell you. It's just guaranteed. You can't guarantee that it's going to be fixed. And what do I think about his thoughts when I read about it in the article? Well, I feel like this should be a valuable lesson to Microsoft instead of trying to rush their products out into the market and have people's hands get into it. You know, they should really take the time before they start pushing these things out. Their engineers, you know, really should step up their game and take the time to see what's going on. You know, what can they do to improve the products, the boards, whatever, yada yada yada, just to make sure that the products are good to use and are safe, believe it or not. Because I actually heard a story one time where the Xbox 360's power supply, you know, that big hunk of power supply on the first generation 360 until they started getting smaller with the 360 Slim and then the 360E, you know, I actually heard a story, and I've actually seen a video about it, and this was shown a while ago, I would say maybe back in 2007, where the power supply for the Xbox 360 actually burned somebody's house down one time. And that's a little scary, so whenever I'm not using the 360, I just unplug it. But the problem is, every time I unplug it, it's going to ruin my outlet too, and then it eventually make it become loose. So I just have to be careful, but now I just keep the thing plugged in. Everything seems to be working fine, you know. I don't notice the power supply overheating, but I know that electrical fires can happen, but I did not think that, you know, it would happen within an instant. That's why I've heard people say, okay, unplug your power supply when you're not using it, and then when you want to use your 360, then plug it back in. So, you know, hopefully Microsoft has resolved that issue with the new consoles, and hopefully the newer 360s that they're still shipping out, if they are still shipping those out, has improved as well. Because they don't have to wait till the new console to fix it. They should fix it right away, and if they can, you know, try to send replacements for everybody out there. I don't know. That's just how I feel about this whole thing, because it's been 10 years since the Red Ring of Death was born, or as some people like to call it, I like to call it this way because it's short and sweet to the point, and it actually sounds cooler, believe it or not. That's just my personal preference. People also refer to this as the Red Eye. I don't know. I like the sound of the Red Eye better than the Red Ring of Death or Ring of Death. I don't know. It's just a personal preference, but hey, you know, something like this should not be argued about. I've also seen solutions where to resolve this Ring of Death instance was I've seen people take it apart and then they try to reapply new thermal paste and then, you know, clean up the heatsink or whatnot, and then that actually solved the problem. I haven't taken apart my Xbox 360 yet, but the second one that I have right now, this is actually my second one I received since 2009, and here we are in 2015. The thing still works, but I don't play as often as I did when I was younger. So maybe that's why I still held on to the thing, and hopefully it'll last forever, because if this 360 right now has the Red Ring of Death and then I can't resolve it myself, even if I try taking it apart and looking at the videos to see how it's done, no more Xbox 360, and I can't go out buying an Xbox One right now. But even if I do, I want to keep my games under 360, so whenever I want to go play it, then I got the chance to. And if I don't have a working 360, well, then I'm guaranteed that I'm screwed. So what do you guys think about this whole Red Ring of Death incident? Do you believe that Microsoft has really improved their products? I mean, I've heard that the Xbox One is going to be backwards compatible with Xbox 360 games, but obviously not all of them will be supported. Like the 360 couldn't support all original Xbox games. So, do you believe Microsoft has fixed the issue, or do you feel like, nope, they rushed out the product again into the market, and eventually it's going to have errors? I don't know. Have you guys noticed any errors like I've asked you at the earlier of this video? I mean, I'd like to see what you guys say in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, rate, comment. Also, check the description below for my social media links, Twitter and Instagram. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.